chosen one. Pause for a moment. Heaven has halted its motion to reach you right now. You are not reading these words by accident. This is divine orchestration. Every sound, every breath around you is aligning to announce what heaven has already decided. God is opening a door that no one can shut. There is something stirring in your spirit, a trembling awareness that something greater is unfolding beyond your understanding. You have felt the pull in your heart, the strange combination of fear and hope, as though eternity itself is whispering your name. Listen carefully, because this is not coincidence, it is divine confirmation. You have been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for the moment when everything finally makes sense, when all the rejection, the isolation, the silence, the tears suddenly reveal their purpose. And now, heaven speaks. This is that moment. The door is not in the distance, it is before you. December 7 is not just a date. It is a divine appointment set on heaven's calendar for you. You are about to witness what happens when divine timing meets faithful endurance. You've endured battles that others never saw. You've smiled while bleeding. You've kept walking when your spirit felt crushed. But hear this, none of that pain was wasted. The very weight that pressed against you was preparing your shoulders to carry glory. The people who misunderstood you were part of the training ground, not the final chapter. You feel it, don't you? The shift, the atmosphere bending around your destiny. Heaven is clearing the air because the door of calling stands ready to swing wide. This is not a door made of wood or steel, but of divine opportunity, an opening in time through which your purpose will step into visibility. You've been asking for a sign, and God says, "This is it, the door I open. No one can close." This is the season when everything begins to align. Your name is being spoken in rooms you haven't entered yet. Angels are being dispatched with assignments carrying your signature. People who once ignored you will soon be drawn to the light you carry. Not because of who you are, but because of who sent you. Heaven is setting a stage that your obedience will soon walk across. Every delay was divine strategy. Every detour was sacred redirection. You are standing at the threshold of fulfillment. But before you step through, you must understand this is a holy door. It demands surrender. It will not open to pride, fear, or hesitation. It opens only to faith. The door responds to those who dare to believe even when evidence seems absent. Faith is the key, and your obedience is the hand that turns it. So, do not shrink back now. Do not allow doubt to whisper that this message is for someone else. No, it is for you. Heaven's algorithm knows no randomness. God Himself orchestrated this moment so that your spirit would awaken at these very words. As the Apostle John recorded in the Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, "Behold, I have set before you an open door, which no one is able to shut." This is the decree that seals your season. No person, no failure, no demonic opposition can close what God has chosen to open. This verse is not poetic, it is prophetic. It is the legal declaration of heaven over your destiny. The paperwork of eternity has been signed. The seal of the Spirit has been pressed upon it. The door stands unlocked. Now, chosen one, this is the part where you respond. Heaven moves when faith moves. Faith is never silent. It speaks. It declares. It acts. If this word burns in your heart, do not scroll past it. Lift your voice through action. Like, share, and comment below as a prophetic sign that you are stepping into your divine season. This is not for attention, it is for activation. Your engagement becomes agreement. Every time you share, you spread light. Every time you comment, you mark your obedience. And when you subscribe, you connect yourself to a continual flow of divine messages crafted for your growth and strength. Let this be your declaration: I am ready for the open door. I am stepping into my calling. I will not hesitate when heaven calls my name. Say it. Type it. Release it. For when you speak it, heaven echoes it. December 7 is your appointed dawn. Between now and then, align your heart, silence your fear, and prepare your spirit. The door will open suddenly, and when it does, nothing, no power, no doubt, no memory will be able to shut it again. So rise, chosen one. The key has turned. The latch has shifted. The door of destiny stands before you, glowing with divine invitation. Step closer, for the voice of God is saying, enter in. Comment 777 below if your spirit knows this is your message, your prophetic confirmation that heaven has spoken your name. You have always known it, haven't you? That deep pull within your chest. The quiet awareness that you were never designed to live an ordinary life, while others rushed to fit in. You were born to stand apart. It has cost you friends, peace, and at times, your own confidence. But heaven calls that difference holy. You were set apart not to be isolated forever, but to be purified, sharpened, and prepared for the day when divine purpose would need your voice. You've asked before, why can't I just be like everyone else? But the truth is, if you were ordinary, you would not survive the calling that's on your life. The fires you've endured weren't meant to destroy you, they were refining you. You have walked through rejection so that you could learn compassion. You've carried burdens so that one day you could carry others. You have been misunderstood because heaven has been speaking a language through you that only the Spirit understands. Every moment that felt like delay was disguised preparation. God was hiding you while He built you. There were doors you wanted to open, and God said no, not because you were unworthy, but because He was reserving something better. You were not forgotten. Chosen one. You were being positioned. And now, as you step closer to December's threshold, that difference inside you begins to make sense. You start to realize that everything, every heartbreak, every silent night, every unanswered prayer was part of a sacred equation leading to divine alignment. You are not lost. You are being led. The ancient words written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6, declare, be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. Let that truth settle in your bones. You have never walked alone, not even in the seasons that felt empty. Every tear was witnessed. Every prayer was recorded. Even your silence was interpreted as worship by heaven. When you look back, you'll see it, the invisible hand of God steering you through the chaos. He allowed some doors to close to redirect you to the one He Himself would open. He let certain people walk away so you could learn to stand without depending on them. Every separation was divine surgery, cutting away what could not go with you into the next level. You were being pruned for power. You are learning that divine distinction requires divine discipline. You cannot carry destiny while clinging to distraction. The calling on your life is weighty, and that weight demands strength, spiritual, emotional, and moral. You've been trained through trials, and though you thought they were breaking you, they were actually building endurance. The fire you faced was the classroom of heaven, teaching you to hold faith even when evidence was gone. Your difference is not a curse, it's the compass that keeps you aligned with your mission. Others may walk by sight, but you walk by revelation. You've been chosen to discern what others ignore. That's why certain things grieve your spirit deeply. You were never built to tolerate darkness. You are a disruptor of deception, a carrier of light in spaces where confusion reigns. When you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts, not because of arrogance, but because heaven's presence moves with you. There's a reason your journey has been lonely. True anointing demands solitude. God draws his chosen ones into quiet places, away from noise, to train them to recognize his whisper. Do not resent the silence. It's where you learn the sound of his footsteps. When others see stillness, heaven sees strategy. When others say you're waiting, heaven says you're becoming. You have been in the background long enough. The world may have overlooked you, but God never did. He was simply waiting for the right moment to reveal you, a moment when your character could carry your calling. That moment is near. The difference within you will soon become your distinction. What made you feel like an outsider will now make you a leader. The stone that was rejected is about to become the cornerstone. So, lift your head, chosen one. Do not hide what heaven has sanctified. You were never meant to fit in, because you were born to redefine what normal means in the kingdom. Walk with quiet confidence, knowing that your difference is your destiny in disguise. The fire didn't consume you, it crowned you. And now, the one who never left you is calling your name again. Step forward. The shaking you have felt lately is not random, it is divine. The tremors that have unsettled your peace, the sudden shifts in your relationships, the opportunities that slipped through your fingers, none of them were mistakes. Heaven is shaking everything that cannot remain, so that only what is unshakable will stand. Do not fear this movement. Chosen one, you are not being destroyed, you are being distinguished. The ground beneath you is not collapsing, it is being cleared. You've been praying for breakthrough, but breakthrough often begins with breaking, what you call chaos. God calls construction. You've been asking him to elevate you, and now he is removing the unstable foundations that cannot carry your next season. Everything that is built on fear, pride, or human strength must crumble so that your life can be rooted in unmovable faith. You are being refined, not rejected. Sometimes God must shake what's familiar so that you will no longer settle for what's safe. You cannot step into divine destiny while clinging to temporary comfort. The shaking exposes idols, those hidden dependencies you didn't know you had. It exposes false security and silent compromises. But take heart, this shaking is mercy in motion. It is heaven's way of aligning your structure before your promotion arrives. The voice of the Lord spoke through the book of Haggai, chapter 2, verse 6. This is what the Lord Almighty says, in a little while I will once more shake the heavens and the earth, the sea and the dry land. These are not just ancient words, they describe the very atmosphere surrounding you right now. God is shaking systems, cycles, and strongholds that once kept you bound. Everything around you may feel unstable, but his promise remains steady. He shakes what is temporary to reveal what is eternal. You might be wondering why certain doors close just when you thought you were ready. Why did some people suddenly leave? Why did something that once felt secure begin to fall apart? It's because God refuses to let you build destiny on sand. When He calls you chosen, He also calls you to stability, and stability only comes when your foundation is Him alone. You may not recognize it yet, but this shaking is a blessing. It's the sound of chains breaking. It's the movement of walls falling. It's the echo of heaven rearranging everything to align with divine order. While you weep over what is falling apart, heaven rejoices over what is being rebuilt. You are in a holy transition from comfort to calling, from weakness to authority, from obscurity to impact. This is why your spirit feels unsettled. You are outgrowing old environments. The clothes of your past no longer fit the stature of your spirit. God is enlarging your capacity, stretching your faith, and preparing your voice for influence. You cannot fit into yesterday's dimensions when tomorrow's anointing is already pressing upon you. What once satisfied you now feels empty because you are being summoned higher. Chosen one. When the shaking feels unbearable, remember, the same God who allows the storm also anchors the soul. You will not be lost in this movement, though the ground may quake beneath you. His hand remains steady over you. Every tremor has purpose. Every loss has meaning. You are being aligned with heaven's architecture. There will come a day soon when you will look back on this shaking and realize it was the mercy of God that saved you. The business that fell apart saved you from bondage. The friendship that ended protected your peace. The plan that failed redirected your purpose. You did not lose, He rerouted you. Right now, heaven is preparing to reveal what remains after the shaking. Only what was built on truth will survive, and that truth is you, your faith, your endurance, your obedience. You will emerge from this not weaker, but wiser, not bitter, but brighter. You are being refined into a vessel that darkness cannot crack. So when fear whispers, "You're losing everything," answer back, "I'm being rebuilt." When doubt says, "You're falling apart," respond, "No, I'm being prepared." The shaking is not punishment, it's prophecy. The same ground that shakes today will hold miracles tomorrow. Now, let's make a declaration together. If your spirit knows this word is for you, type "Still, I stand" in the comments. Those 3 words are more than a phrase, they are a decree. When you write them, you align your faith with heaven's rhythm. You declare that no matter how violently the earth moves beneath you, you will not fall. You affirm that your foundation is Christ alone. Type it as a testimony. Type it as warfare. Type it as faith. Every "Still I stand" becomes a spiritual roar, echoing against the voices of fear that tried to silence you. You are not collapsing. You are rising through the rubble. You are not the victim of this shaking. You are its survivor. It's proof. It's prophecy fulfilled. And when the dust settles, the world will see the shaking did not destroy the chosen one. It revealed the strength of the one who chose you. There are moments when heaven seems silent, so still that you begin to question if your prayers even reached beyond the ceiling. You've poured out your heart, begged for answers, and yet all you heard was the echo of your own voice. You wondered if perhaps God had moved on, if somehow your faith was too weak to be heard. But listen carefully now. Chosen one, heaven's silence has never meant heaven's absence. What felt like rejection was in truth divine construction. You see, silence is one of God's most powerful tools. It is not punishment, it is preparation. When heaven goes quiet, it's because something sacred is being built behind the scenes. God hides his greatest works in stillness. He works while you wait, forming foundations too deep for your eyes to see. Just because he didn't answer when you expected doesn't mean he didn't act. The delays were never denials. They were divine timing perfecting every detail of your destiny. Think about the seasons you spent asking for a sign, for guidance, for breakthrough, and received nothing but quiet. What you didn't realize is that silence was God's answer. He was saying, "Trust me." In those seasons, you were being trained to depend not on evidence, but on his character. Faith that only survives when it hears constant reassurance is not yet mature. True faith holds on even when heaven whispers nothing. You were being invited into that maturity. Heaven often falls silent when the blueprint of your next season is being written. It's a divine hush over the soul, a call to stillness so you can be reshaped. You thought nothing was happening, but the truth is, you were being rewritten from within. God was changing your lenses, shifting your heart, and aligning your perspective. He wasn't ignoring you. He was insulating you from noise that could distort your growth. The voice of God thundered once in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Those words carry the weight of eternity. They remind us that stillness is not inactivity, it is trust. It's the sacred pause where faith refuses to panic. God does his finest work when you choose to remain at peace in the midst of uncertainty. The silence that felt like abandonment was actually protection, keeping you from battles that were never yours to fight. You wanted clarity, but God wanted closeness. You asked for answers, and he offered intimacy. Sometimes heaven withholds explanations to preserve revelation, because if he told you everything too soon, you would depend on the plan instead of the planner. His silence was the invitation to deeper hearing, to learn his presence beyond words, beyond proof. You were not being ignored, you were being initiated into intimacy. Look back now and see it. In the seasons when heaven seemed quiet, there was always something moving beneath the surface. Doors were aligning, people were shifting, circumstances were rearranging to make room for your future. The silence was a seed buried in unseen soil. Just because you couldn't see it growing didn't mean it wasn't alive. You were learning to believe in the unseen, the very essence of faith itself. You may have wondered, why didn't he speak when I needed him most? But the truth is, he was speaking in the small mercies that surrounded you, in the peace that held you together when everything else fell apart. Every breath you took in that quiet season was proof that grace had not left you. The silence wasn't God turning away, it was God drawing near in a different form. Chosen one. Learn to cherish those silent seasons. They are sacred classrooms where heaven teaches you endurance. They are the places where you discover that God's faithfulness doesn't depend on feelings. When you learn to trust in silence, you become unstoppable, because no storm can shake a heart that has learned to rest in divine stillness. The silence refined your hearing. It trained you to recognize subtle movements of the Spirit. It taught you discernment that can only come through waiting. You have come out of that season stronger, wiser, quieter in spirit, yet louder in faith. You now understand that silence isn't the absence of sound, it's the presence of strategy. There will come a time soon when you'll look back on this quiet chapter and see how perfectly it all made sense. You'll realize that every unanswered question was guiding you toward the right path, that every pause was protection, and that heaven's delay was disguised deliverance. So, take heart. If heaven feels silent again, do not despair. God is still writing, still working, still weaving beauty into every unseen corner of your story. The silence is not the end, it's the overture before the music begins. The author has not stopped speaking, he's simply turning the page. You have learned to wait well, and those who wait well always walk into their destiny stronger than before. Be still. Chosen one. The silence is sacred. There is a sense in the air that something is building, a divine pressure. Like the quiet before rain. You can feel it, can't you? The way the spiritual atmosphere hums with anticipation, as if heaven itself is counting down. Each sunrise feels heavier with meaning, each night more charged with wonder. It's not your imagination. Heaven's clock is striking, and your name is echoing through eternity's corridors. The countdown to your unveiling has begun. This is what happens before every major move of God. The world calls it coincidence, but the chosen recognize it as convergence when everything begins to align in ways that defy reason. The timing of events, the sudden reappearance of certain people, the strange tug in your spirit, all of it is part of heaven's design. God is setting the stage for your next step. You've walked through so much to reach this point, through dark valleys and weary nights. Yet through it all, something inside you refused to die, hope. That stubborn ember that refused to be extinguished, that was the Spirit breathing life into you. The storms didn't destroy you, they purified your purpose. And now, the clouds are beginning to part. The light is changing. The air feels different. December 7 is not just a date, it's a doorway. And heaven is already unlocking it. We are reminded through the writings of Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes. Chapter 3, verse 1, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." You are stepping into your appointed time. Every seed of faith you planted in tears is about to break through the soil of delay. The waiting wasn't wasted, it was watering. Chosen one. Picture your life as a garden. Some seeds took root in silence. Others appeared dead under the weight of soil and circumstance. But the gardener never left the field. He was tending, pruning, watching. The very pressure you felt was the soil shifting to make room for growth. Now, the first shoots are breaking through. Heaven is announcing harvest. When the wind shifts like this, you must respond, not with fear, but with gratitude, not with hiding, but with honoring. And one of the purest ways to honor what heaven is doing is by nurturing the soil it's growing in. Every act of faith you make, every word you share, every gesture of generosity waters the message for someone else who desperately needs it. If this message has touched you, let it ripple outward. When you like, you are saying, Amen. When you share, you become a messenger. And when you subscribe, you build the altar where heaven keeps pouring its oil. These small acts are not digital habits, they are spiritual signals, beacons of light in a scrolling world. You are helping awaken other chosen ones still sleeping in the shadows. And if your heart feels led to give, even a little, do it not as a transaction but as a seed of honor. Every drop of generosity becomes oil that fuels this flame, keeping these words flowing to hearts that need them most. It is never about money, it's about meaning. When you sow into something that feeds your soul, you tell heaven, I recognize what you are doing here. And heaven always responds to recognition. Think of it this way: you've been walking through a long desert, and suddenly you find a well of water. Would you drink alone? Or call others to come and taste? That's what your support does. It turns one well into many. Every share, every kind act, every offering of faith digs another well where someone else can drink and live again. You are part of something bigger than yourself now. These words, this moment, this movement, it's all divine design. When you engage, you are not following a creator, you are co-laboring with heaven. You are helping spread light across an algorithmic wilderness. You are helping lost hearts remember that they, too, are chosen. So, let gratitude rise within you. Whisper thank you to the one who never let go. Smile through the tears as you feel the shift in your spirit. The countdown continues, and you are ready. The door is forming in front of you, invisible but imminent. The wind of God is gathering. The trumpet of destiny is being lifted, and heaven is preparing to say, now, until then, keep your heart open, keep your light burning, support what strengthens you, water the field that feeds your soul. For every seed of faith you sow through prayer, through sharing, through giving, heaven multiplies it into harvests you cannot yet imagine. The season is turning, the countdown is real, and the God who started your story is about to finish it in glory. There are moments in history when heaven calls for a response, when time itself pauses, waiting for the chosen to align their hearts. You are standing in one of those moments right now. The winds of change are no longer distant, they are brushing against your spirit. You can feel it, the nearness of breakthrough, the tremor of divine movement approaching your life. This is not imagination, it is revelation. Heaven is speaking directly to your spirit, and your obedience will determine the magnitude of your release. You've come too far to doubt now. The same God who carried you through nights of silence will not abandon you in the hour of awakening. What you have survived was not random, it was preparation. You've been tested, refined, stripped, and remade because your next chapter cannot be built on weakness. God has been fortifying your foundation so that when the door swings open, you'll be able to stand under the weight of blessing. The world might see nothing changing around you, but the unseen realm is vibrating with motion. Angels are positioning themselves like architects around a divine doorway. The coordinates of your destiny are being finalized, and heaven is asking one thing of you now: alignment. Faith is not passive, it's participation. When you respond, you engage heaven's pattern. When you act, you declare, I am ready. There's a reason why God asks his people to make prophetic gestures, because faith without motion remains theory. What you are about to experience requires active agreement. According to the word recorded in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Those ancient words are the key to this moment. Faith is not waiting idly, it's building, believing, and moving even when there's no visible sign yet. You are being invited to demonstrate that faith right now, to prove through action that you believe heaven's promises more than your present conditions. This is why the act of declaration matters. It may seem small to the eyes of man, but it is enormous in the spirit. When you type, speak, or declare something prophetic, you align with the voice of heaven. You say, I choose faith over fear. You say, I stand where God has placed me. So now, chosen one, I invite you to make a prophetic act. If this message has resonated within you, if something in your heart knows that this is your confirmation, comment 888 below. Why 888? Because it is the number of new beginnings, the rhythm of divine resurrection, the endless loop of grace multiplied. While the world sees 3 digits, heaven sees agreement. Every 888 typed is a spiritual signature saying, I am ready for the new. You are not just writing a number, you are sealing a covenant with heaven's timing. When you comment, let it be more than a gesture. Let it be a declaration that you trust the unseen architect of your life. You may not see how all the pieces fit yet, but you believe that God is arranging them perfectly. Just as a weaver cannot see the full tapestry until the end, you are trusting the thread of faith that runs through every moment. The enemy has fought hard to make you doubt, to make you weary, to convince you that you are forgotten. But this message arrives as proof that heaven's eyes have never left you. God hasn't ignored your prayers, He's been timing your release. And the door that's about to open will not only bless you, it will heal everything that broke you. The reason this moment feels so heavy is because the spiritual pressure of birth is upon you. The contractions of destiny are intense, but they are also a sign that something new is about to be delivered. What once confined you will no longer contain you. You are expanding into the fullness of who you were meant to be. The waiting is ending. The turning has begun. You can almost hear the hinges of heaven creaking, the sound of destiny unlocking. This is not the time to hesitate or second-guess yourself. Lift your head, strengthen your heart, and align your spirit. The very atmosphere is shifting in your favor. When you type 888, do it with reverence and confidence. Whisper a prayer as you do, Lord. I am ready for the new you have prepared for me. Let that be your offering of faith, because heaven always responds to obedience wrapped in humility. After this, go about your day with quiet assurance. The sign has been released. The motion has begun. You may not see it yet, but the spiritual clock has moved forward because of your agreement. Chosen one. Remember, heaven doesn't work through coincidence. It works through confirmation, and you are living inside one right now. The number you typed, the prayer you whispered, the heartbeat that quickened as you read these words, none of it is random. It is all part of heaven's unfolding design. The doorway is not a metaphor anymore. It's real. It's opening. And as you step forward in faith, the winds of God will meet you there. There is always resistance before revelation. Just when the light begins to break through, the shadows seem to grow darker. You've noticed it, the sudden wave of discouragement, the unexpected opposition, the voices of doubt that rise louder the closer you get to breakthrough. This is not coincidence. It is the final strategy of the enemy. He knows what heaven is about to do, and he fears it. Every chosen vessel encounters this moment, the final stretch before the open door, the last storm before the sunrise. You have felt the pressure intensify, haven't you? The way old fears suddenly return, the way exhaustion tries to suffocate your faith. It's because you're standing on the threshold of transformation. The enemy is not attacking your past, he's trying to prevent your future. If he can distract you now, he can delay what heaven has already decreed. But take heart. Chosen one, his efforts are in vain. What God has spoken cannot be cancelled, only resisted, and resistance always precedes release. Every battle you've faced lately is confirmation that you are close to something sacred. The warfare is the evidence of worth. The heavier the opposition, the greater the destiny it's guarding. You are not under attack because you're weak. You are under attack because you carry something powerful. The enemy does not waste ammunition on the irrelevant. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 54, verse 17, "No weapon that is formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord. These words are not merely poetic comfort, they are a decree. They mean that the weapons may form, but they will not function. The attacks may come, but they cannot overthrow what has been marked by God. You are covered by covenant. The opposition is loud because it's desperate. The enemy knows he cannot remove your calling, so he tries to distract your focus. He whispers lies like, "You're not ready," or "Nothing is changing." But every whisper of fear is proof that your progress threatens him. He trembles when you pray, because every prayer you utter shifts the atmosphere. Every time you worship through pain, you remind hell that it lost its grip on you. This season has been like a storm that refuses to end. You've watched as things fell apart, as people walked away, as plans crumbled. But what you may not realize is that even the storm obeys divine boundaries. It cannot last forever. God sets limits on the enemy's reach. The waves may rise, but they will not drown you. The fire may burn, but it will not consume you. You are protected in ways your eyes cannot see. In the quiet of the night, when doubt tries to creep in, remember how far you've come. The fact that you are still standing is proof that grace has never failed you. Every battle you've survived has made you stronger. Every wound has become wisdom. Every tear has been collected in heaven's jar as evidence of faith under fire. You have overcome too much to quit now. The enemy wants you exhausted because he fears your endurance. He knows that if you keep standing, you will see victory. Endurance is the most dangerous weapon you have. It's what turns trials into testimonies. You've been trained for this moment through every hardship that once tried to break you. The strength you have now didn't come from comfort. It came from surviving chaos with your faith intact. Do not despise the warfare. See it for what it is, a mirror reflecting how much you matter in the spiritual realm. You are a threat to darkness simply by being obedient. Your very presence disrupts the plans of hell. That's why things suddenly went wrong the moment you decided to rise. The moment you said, "I will follow the call." You became a target but also a testimony. This is not the time to retreat. This is the time to anchor your faith deeper than your feelings. Speak peace when the storm roars. Declare victory when the battlefield looks empty. The weapons may form, but they cannot fulfill their purpose. You are surrounded. Yes, but not by enemies. You are surrounded by angels, by promises, by the very presence of God. Soon, what feels like an endless fight will shift into a season of fulfillment. The darkness that tried to crush you will become the backdrop for your light to shine brighter. You will look back on this and realize that the battle was never about breaking you, it was about building you. You were being trained to handle triumph. Chosen one, lift your eyes. The battlefield is not your grave, It is your proving ground. Every blow that was meant to wound you has only strengthened your resolve. You are still here, still believing, still chosen, and soon, the very thing that came to stop you will become the testimony that launches you. There comes a point when mercy, the gentle hand that has carried you through failure after failure, begins to shift. Not because God stops loving you, but because He loves you too much to let you stay asleep. This is that moment. Chosen one. Heaven's voice is not whispering anymore, it is calling with clarity. What you do in this hour will shape what unfolds next. You have lived through grace upon grace, through chances that others might never have received. Every time you fell, mercy reached down and lifted you again. Every time you wandered, love came searching for you in the dark. But there is a divine pattern to mercy. It always comes with a purpose. It is not meant to become a cushion for complacency, but a bridge toward transformation. When mercy pauses, it is not punishment, it is invitation. Heaven is waiting to see what you will choose now. There are seasons when God's kindness feels like comfort, and there are seasons when it feels like confrontation. You are stepping into the latter. The Spirit is stirring the waters again, not to drown you, but to awaken you. The delay that used to feel bearable now feels heavy because heaven is saying, move. You can feel the urgency pressing in your chest, the sense that something is about to shift, but only if you respond. The voice of truth speaks through the book of Isaiah, chapter 55, verse 6. Seek the Lord while He may be found, call on Him while He is near. These words are not a warning, they are a window. They tell us that there are moments of divine nearness, times when heaven bends low and waits for humanity to answer. You are standing in one of those sacred windows right now. The nearness you feel, that trembling awareness in your heart, is heaven drawing close. Do not confuse mercy with permission. Grace forgives your past, but obedience determines your future. You have been carried long enough by compassion. Now you are being invited to walk in conviction. This is the moment to act on what you already know to be true. You don't need another sign, another prophecy, or another confirmation. What you need now is courage. God has been patient through your hesitation, your fear, your tendency to look back at what was comfortable. But time is shifting. The hourglass is turning. There comes a point where waiting becomes wandering, and wandering becomes rebellion. Heaven's mercy is still available, but its tone has changed. It's no longer saying, rest. It's saying, rise. You have felt the pull between grace and discipline lately, the tension between who you were and who you are becoming. That tug of war in your spirit is not confusion, it's transformation. The old you is losing its hold, and the new you is emerging through resistance. You are not being punished, you are being purified. The discomfort you feel is the friction of growth. There is a sobering truth here. Mercy is not endless opportunity, it is measured invitation. When heaven calls, it expects a response. If you ignore the voice too long, your spirit begins to lose sensitivity to it. The danger is not that God will stop speaking, it's that you will stop hearing. That is why this moment matters so deeply. The door of calling is open, but not indefinitely. What you decide in the stillness of your heart echoes in eternity. Think of Jonah in the belly of the fish. It wasn't wrath that swallowed him, it was grace disguised as confinement. God was not punishing him, He was redirecting him. Your recent storms, your recent disappointments, are not punishments either. They are reminders that you cannot outrun purpose. You can delay it, resist it, or question it, but you cannot destroy what heaven has ordained. And yet, heaven is asking you to move differently now. The season of constant rescue is ending, and the season of responsibility has begun. You are no longer a child in the Spirit, you are being called to maturity. Mercy is still near, but it now stands beside destiny, pointing forward. Chosen one, it is time to respond. Do not let fear disguise itself as caution. Do not let comfort chain you to yesterday. When God moves, delay becomes disobedience. The window is open now. It will not remain forever. This is the hour to step into alignment, to make the choices that will sustain what heaven is about to release. You have been forgiven, now be faithful. You have been rescued, now be ready. Mercy is not leaving you, it's leading you. And where it leads is into purpose. If you could see what waits on the other side of obedience, you would never hesitate again. The door is not just symbolic, it's spiritual. It stands before you, gleaming with possibility, waiting for one act of surrender to swing it wide. Heaven is near. Choose rightly. There has always been a voice inside you, quiet at times, but unmistakable. It's that gentle stirring in your spirit when you see pain in others, when you sense that something sacred is missing in the world. That voice has been calling you for years, even when you didn't have words for it. You were never meant to remain silent. You were made to speak, to carry light into the dark corners of this generation. Heaven has been shaping your voice, and now the wilderness has become your training ground. You have felt misunderstood, haven't you? Like your convictions were too strong, your sensitivity too deep, your heart too tender for this world. But that's because your ears were tuned to heaven's frequency while others still listened to noise. You were hearing before others could. You were being prepared to carry messages that would awaken sleeping souls. The loneliness you endured was not a curse, it was calibration. You had to learn the rhythm of heaven's voice in solitude before you could release it in public. As it is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 3, verse 3, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord, make his paths straight. That verse was not just about John the Baptist, it's about every chosen messenger who dares to speak truth when silence is easier. You, chosen one, are among them. You were born to cry out in a wilderness generation. The wilderness is not the end, it is the birthplace of voices that change nations. It is the classroom where clarity is forged. In the wilderness, distractions die, approval fades, and all that remains is obedience. You have walked through that refining silence, learning what to say, when to say it, and most importantly, who you're saying it for. You are not called to echo others, you are called to carry heaven's tone. Your voice may not be loud, but it is anointed. It carries weight because it has been baptized in pain. Your words will cut through noise, not because they are clever, but because they are clean. Purity gives power. Heaven does not use perfect vessels. Heaven uses purified ones. Every tear you've shed, every season you've endured alone, was purifying the message that you will one day release. You may not realize it yet, but your testimony is a trumpet. Every scar you hide carries a sound that hell fears. You survived what others did not, and that survival itself is your message. You are proof that grace works. that faith sustains, that light still conquers darkness. You were not called to preach religion, you were called to release revelation. And that's what the world needs now. Not noise, but truth. Not empty inspiration, but divine impartation. The world doesn't need more influencers, it needs intercessors. It needs voices like yours that still tremble under the weight of holiness. But before you speak to nations, you must speak to yourself. You must remind your own soul of what it already knows, that you are not disqualified, not forgotten, not too late. The same God who called you before you were born is still calling you now. The same power that parted the Red Sea still runs through your veins. Heaven's voice is still echoing, prepare the way. So here is your moment of agreement. If your spirit bears witness to this message, type, "Use me, Lord," in the comments. It may seem like a simple phrase, but in the unseen realm, it is a declaration of surrender. Those 3 words are a spiritual signature, marking your readiness. When you type them, you are not speaking from pride, but from purpose. You are telling heaven, "I am available." You are saying, "Even if I must walk alone, I will carry your light." When you write it, imagine the ripple it creates. Imagine heaven leaning closer, angels taking note, the same way Isaiah once said, "Here am I, send me." Your words become incense rising before the throne. They are not lost in digital space, they are recorded in eternal scrolls. The wilderness has tried to silence you, but the time for silence is over. The world is starving for authenticity, for purity, for courage. Your story will be the bridge between heaven and hearts. You don't need a platform, you need obedience. When you speak what God gives you, the atmosphere will shift, chains will break, hope will breathe again. Do not wait for perfection before you begin. Begin, and perfection will meet you on the path. The power is not in your eloquence, but in your surrender. The message you carry is not borrowed, it is born. It was conceived in the dark and will now be delivered in the light. You are the voice in this wilderness. You are the one heaven has appointed to call others forward. The pain you endured was not wasted, it became prophecy. Now, open your mouth, lift your heart, and declare that you are ready. The sound of your obedience will awaken many. Type it, "Use me, Lord." And when you do, mean it not as a moment of emotion, but as a covenant of calling, because heaven is listening, and the wilderness is about to echo back with purpose. There is a point of no return in every story, the moment when the old world fades and the new one begins. You are standing right there now. Chosen one, what lies ahead cannot be compared to what lies behind. The door you are about to walk through is not simply a new chapter, it is an entirely new book. When you cross this threshold, the version of you that once hesitated, doubted, or looked back will cease to exist. You are about to become who you were always meant to be. This is the door of no return, the place where heaven calls and the past loses its power. It is both beautiful and terrifying, because every divine doorway requires a decision: leave behind what is known or miss what is promised. For too long, you've carried the weight of old identities, old fears, and familiar pain. But now, heaven is saying, lay them down, step through. The Apostle Paul reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 5, verse 17. If anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old has passed away. Behold, the new has come. This verse is more than theology. It is transformation in motion. You are standing in that verse right now. You've been stretched and tested. And sometimes you've wondered if you had anything left to give. But what you didn't realize is that the shaking wasn't meant to break you. It was meant to loosen your attachment to what no longer fits. Like a butterfly pushing through the cocoon. You felt resistance, not because you were failing, but because you were emerging. When heaven opens this kind of door, it doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for participation. You don't need to have everything figured out, you just need to take the step. The key is not strength, it's surrender. Step forward. Even trembling, God will meet you mid-motion. Think of your life as a river. For years, it wound through valleys of waiting and canyons of confusion. Sometimes slow, sometimes violent. But a river's destiny is always the ocean. It doesn't turn back once it begins to flow. It may hit rocks and bends, but it never retreats. You are that river. This door is your ocean. The current of purpose is pulling you towards something vast, something eternal. And as you prepare to cross, remember this, you are not alone. You are surrounded by a community of souls walking through their own thresholds. Each of them carries light. And when our lights gather, darkness retreats a little more. That is why this space exists, to hold, strengthen, and awaken the chosen. If these words have resonated in your spirit, if they have brought comfort, conviction, or clarity, then I invite you to help keep this light flowing. When you like, it's not a casual gesture, it's a ripple of agreement that tells heaven, yes, I receive this. When you share, you pass the flame forward, igniting hearts that might otherwise remain cold. When you subscribe, you anchor yourself to a continual flow of prophetic nourishment, reminders that your soul is not alone in this journey. And if your heart feels stirred to donate, do it not as a transaction, but as an offering of gratitude. Every drop of generosity becomes oil that keeps the lamps burning, fuel for the message, fuel for the mission. It helps this river of truth reach deserts that have forgotten what rain feels like. It is a quiet way of saying, Lord, I believe in what you are doing here. Your giving is not measured in amount, but in alignment. Even a single seed can produce a forest when placed in divine soil. So give with joy, with peace, with purpose. You are not funding a voice, you are feeding a movement. Consider this moment like standing in a grand cathedral with candles flickering all around. Every like is a flame, every share, another candle lit, every subscription, a vow to stay near the light, and every offering a beam of gold rising toward heaven, saying, I honor what you are doing through me. As you do, take a moment to breathe and feel the presence of God resting upon you. The door before you glows brighter now. The threshold calls your name. And deep within, something whispers, this is the moment I was made for. You can sense it, the pull of destiny, the weight of grace, the sound of new beginnings calling from the other side. The old you cannot follow, doubt cannot cross, fear cannot survive. This is holy ground. The river within you must finally meet the sea. And as you step forward, heaven's wind fills your sails. You will not walk, you will glide. You will not guess, you will know. you will not be the same again. So, beloved chosen one, take the step. Like, share, support, and walk with us as we cross into what has never been before. Every gesture of faith builds a bridge for another to follow. Together, we move as one, many lights, one fire, one purpose. The door is open, the invitation stands, and when you step through, the heavens will echo your courage with a single decree. Welcome home, new creation. There is a fire that doesn't burn flesh but purifies the soul, a flame that does not destroy, but defines. You have felt it lately, haven't you? That inner heat, that pressure in your spirit, that sense that something is refining you from the inside out. It's not punishment, it's preparation. You are walking through the fire of refinement, the sacred furnace where heaven shapes its chosen ones into instruments of endurance and purity. You may not have understood why the trials came one after another, why peace seemed to vanish just when you thought you'd finally found it. But this, chosen one, is the truth. Fire always finds what is precious. The flames are drawn to gold, not to dust. God has allowed this refining not to expose your weakness, but to reveal your worth. What He's building in you requires strength that only fire can create. It was proclaimed through the prophet Malachi. Chapter 3, verse 3, He will sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. He will purify the Levites and refine them like gold and silver. Imagine that the Creator of galaxies sitting close beside you, carefully watching the fire so that it burns hot enough to purify, but never so fierce that it destroys. The refiner never leaves his work unattended. You are not alone in the flame. You are being formed in His hands. In ancient times, silversmiths would hold the metal over the flame until every impurity melted away. They would know the refining was complete when they could see their reflection clearly in the silver. And that is what God is doing in you. Every disappointment, every heartbreak, every stretch of loneliness, it's all part of the process that makes His reflection shine through you. The more you endure, the clearer His image becomes. This kind of transformation cannot be rushed. It happens in silence, in surrender, in the hidden hours when you cry without words but still whisper, I trust you. The fire doesn't just touch your circumstances, it touches your character. It burns away pride, resentment, impatience, fear, and the illusions you once depended on. It leaves behind only what is eternal, only what can stand in the presence of glory. Refinement feels painful because it confronts everything false within you. It demands honesty about your desires, your motives, your fears. You can no longer pretend or perform. The flame strips away every mask. Yet, it's in that vulnerability that you encounter true freedom. When there is nothing left to hide behind, you finally see that God was never looking for perfection. He was looking for surrender. Sometimes, refinement looks like lost relationships fading, opportunities vanishing, plans collapsing. But in truth, those losses are pruning. The refiner removes what dilutes your shine so that your purpose can emerge unclouded. Every closed door is a furnace door shutting behind impurities that cannot follow you into your next season. You might ask, when will the fire end? But the question isn't when, it's why. The fire ends when its purpose is fulfilled, when what remains inside you reflects heaven's intention perfectly. Each stage of heat is deliberate. God turns up the temperature only to the degree that your soul can withstand it. He knows your limits better than you do. And here lies the mystery. Refinement doesn't just change you, it reveals you. You're not becoming something new, you're becoming what you were always meant to be. The gold was already there, the fire only uncovered it. That's why you've been surviving what others couldn't. You are built for heat. You carry the composition of endurance in your spirit. Look closely now at your scars, they shimmer, don't they? That's because the light of heaven reflects more beautifully off those who've been through fire. Every burn mark tells a story of grace. Every scar is a seal of authenticity, a mark that says, "This one has been tested and proven faithful." The fire will not last forever. There comes a moment when the refiner looks into the flame, sees his reflection in you, and says, "It is finished." The heat will fade, the pressure will lift, and in its place, peace will settle like gentle rain after drought. And when that happens, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't just survive the fire, you became the fire. Wherever you go, your presence will burn away lies and awaken truth. Your words will carry warmth to the weary and conviction to the complacent. You'll walk with quiet authority because you'll know deep in your spirit that nothing can harm what has already been through holy fire. So, endure a little longer. Beloved, let the process complete its purpose. The flames that once frightened you are now forging you. And soon, when you step out of this furnace, the world will see not the ashes of who you were, but the radiance of who you've become. You are the silver refined, the vessel purified, the flame that never dies. What emerges from this fire will carry heaven's reflection and nothing less. There are moments when time feels different, when the seconds feel charged. The air feels heavy, and your heart knows that something divine is near. You are in such a moment right now. Chosen one, the nearness of December 7 is not merely a date approaching, it is a spiritual crescendo. The atmosphere is alive with movement, with unseen preparations that your spirit can sense, but your mind cannot fully explain. Heaven is counting down, and your obedience will decide how fully the door opens before you. In recent days, you may have noticed signs that feel strange, recurring dreams, sudden restlessness, moments where your spirit feels both excited and unsettled. This is not confusion, it's awakening. Heaven is pressing on your awareness to make sure you don't miss what's coming. The divine alignment you have prayed for is beginning to manifest. As the prophet Habakkuk once wrote, in chapter 2, verse 2, "Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it." That instruction was not just for him, it is for you. Right now, heaven is saying, get ready. Make it plain. Be clear about what I have spoken to your heart. The vision God gave you, the dream that has lingered in your soul, is about to find form. But clarity must come before completion. This is why you have felt tension between what you see and what you sense. You are standing in the gap between revelation and realization. It's the narrow corridor where faith feels fragile and patience feels heavy. But don't lose heart, the corridor always comes before the crown. What feels like waiting is actually alignment. The closer the breakthrough, the louder the distractions. The enemy will send noise, frustration, and even fatigue to make you disengage before the finish line. Don't fall for it. The final test before release is always focus. Heaven wants to see if you can hold steady when the wind changes. You are being asked not to chase signs, but to remain steadfast in faith. Every prophetic moment demands participation. This isn't a season to observe, it's a season to act. Just as Habakkuk was told to write the vision, you are being asked to declare your readiness, to mark this moment with intention. Heaven responds to visible faith, faith that moves, speaks, and acts. So now, as a prophetic act of agreement, if your spirit bears witness that this word is yours, type 444 inches, the comments below. Why 444? Because it represents divine order, angelic alignment, and the completion of preparation. It signifies stability, a spiritual foundation being laid before manifestation. When you type that number, you are saying to heaven, I am aligned, I am prepared, I am ready for what you have written. This isn't superstition, it's symbolism. Numbers are languages of the divine. They carry patterns and promises. By typing 444, you are participating in heaven's rhythm. You're acknowledging that everything in your life, even what didn't make sense, is now coming into divine order. When you make that declaration, do it with awareness. Whisper, Lord, align me with your timing. Say it as both surrender and strength. Heaven doesn't need loud faith, it needs consistent faith. The kind that holds steady through silence, through storms, through shifting seasons. That is the kind of faith you've been cultivating all this time. You may not see the fullness of what's unfolding, but heaven's movement is not measured by visibility, it's measured by obedience. When God sees faith expressed in action, the unseen begins to manifest in the seen. Every time you respond in faith, you push back against delay. You accelerate what heaven has already prepared. Right now, angels are arranging the details of your next season. What once felt uncertain is about to gain definition. You are entering the stretch of fulfillment, the point where spiritual promises become physical realities. The visions that once seemed distant are stepping closer with each act of faith. But be wise, new blessings demand new discipline. What you carry after December 7 must be guarded with prayer, humility, and stewardship. God is not just blessing you, He's trusting you. He's entrusting you with influence, responsibility, and grace to help others find their own doors. This is why your preparation mattered so much. Heaven wasn't delaying you, heaven was equipping you. When you type 444, see it as sealing your covenant with this moment. The number is your symbolic signature on heaven's decree. It is your way of saying, Lord, I choose alignment over anxiety. I choose faith over fear. I choose your order over my own chaos. After you do, take a deep breath. Let gratitude rise. Feel the peace that follows obedience. Something shifts in the unseen when faith and timing collide. You may not hear it with your ears, but your spirit will feel it, the quiet click of a lock turning, the sound of heaven's door opening just a little wider. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where every step counts. Each act of faith is a seed in the soil of destiny. Each word you speak in trust becomes a tool of creation. Keep your eyes lifted and your heart steady. The appointed time is no longer approaching, it has arrived. Type 444 as your amen in motion, your yes to heaven's unfolding plan. Because what is coming next will not just change your circumstances, it will confirm your calling. Every crown ever placed upon a head in heaven's kingdom has been forged in fire. It is never made in comfort, never molded in ease. And that is why your story, though marked by pain, has always been royal. You may not have seen it that way before, but every hardship, every season of waiting, every heartbreak has been shaping your crown. The weight you've carried was not a curse, it was crafting. You see, crowns are not given to the ones who never fell. They are given to those who fell and rose again. To those who kept walking even when the road was steep and the night was long. The angels have been watching your endurance. The way you held faith when logic would have told you to give up. That perseverance, that quiet refusal to quit, has become the gold that heaven is using to form your crown. It is written in the letter of James, chapter 1, verse 12. Blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because, having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him. This promise isn't distant or abstract, it is alive right now. You are being prepared for the unveiling of that very reward. Your life has not been random, it has been strategic. Every detour was divine choreography. Every delay was a sharpening of your spirit. When you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being refined for rulership. God never trains his warriors in comfort. He trains them in conflict. Because only the tested can be trusted with authority. You have endured more than most. And, though you didn't always understand it, that endurance has birthed resilience, a spiritual muscle that hell itself cannot break. You have become stronger, wiser, and more compassionate because of what you've suffered. And these are the jewels in your crown, not gold or silver, but faith, mercy, humility, and endurance. Look at how far you've come. There were seasons when the night stretched so long that dawn felt impossible. Yet, here you are. The very breath in your lungs is proof that grace still surrounds you. The pain that once felt like it would destroy you has become your proof of divine protection. You didn't just survive, you matured. Sometimes, the crown is invisible long before it's visible. Others might not see it yet, but heaven already recognizes it. Every time you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, another gem was set. Every time you prayed instead of complaining, another facet was polished. Every time you kept believing through tears, heaven adjusted the crown's fit around your head. This is why the weight you feel lately is different. It's not oppression, it's elevation. Crowns are heavy because they signify responsibility. When God calls you chosen, he also calls you accountable. The glory that is coming will require discipline, integrity, and wisdom. You are not being rewarded for what you did. You are being trusted for what you became. Think about the olive tree. It must be crushed to release its oil. The greater the crushing, the purer the oil. The same is true for your life. Every crushing season was not loss, it was extraction. God has been drawing out the oil of your anointing through every moment that brought you to your knees. You carry something sacred now, something that cannot be replicated by talent or imitation. And though the world may not yet recognize the majesty of what is upon you, heaven already has. The crown you carry is not ornamental, it is functional. It grants you authority to speak life into dead places, to intercede for others, to carry peace into chaos. It is both gift and calling, beauty and burden. But oh, what a holy burden it is to wear proof that grace has triumphed over pain. Do not shrink back when people misunderstand your new season. Some will question why God is elevating you after all you've been through. But remember, crowns are not distributed by popular vote. They are placed by divine decree. Heaven alone decides who has been found faithful. And heaven has decided that you have. In the coming days, you will notice the shift, not in material things first, but in the way you walk, the way you speak, the way your presence changes the atmosphere. The crown is not just on your head, it's in your spirit. You will carry yourself with the quiet authority of one who has seen too much to doubt. So, stand tall, chosen one. The days of crawling through the dust are over. The fire has forged you. The trials have trained you. And heaven has declared you ready. The crown of endurance is not waiting somewhere far off in eternity. It's resting upon you even now. Radiant and real. You have been proven through pain and purified through perseverance. Wear it well. Walk with reverence. Rule with grace. For what was once your suffering has now become your strength. And what once broke you has become the gold of your crown. You were never meant to walk this journey alone. Even though the path of the chosen often feels solitary, heaven has always planned a gathering, a divine convergence of hearts marked by the same flame, somewhere in the unseen. There are others like you, people who have carried quiet pain, hidden strength, and relentless faith. They too have been tested, refined, and called. You may not have met them yet, but you will, because the remnant, the chosen collective, is awakening. There is something sacred about the word remnant. It means what remains after the shaking, what endures after the fire. When the noise of the world fades and the counterfeit crumbles, what remains is the real. That is you. That is them. The ones who didn't give up, who didn't trade truth for comfort, who didn't bow when compromise looked easier. Heaven has been gathering this remnant across nations, weaving them together with invisible threads of purpose. We are reminded through the words of Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there am I among them." This has never been truer than now. The gathering of the remnant is not a conference or a crowd. It is a movement of souls aligning under one spirit. It happens in living rooms, in prayer closets, in digital spaces, and in quiet moments when hearts begin to recognize each other across distance. For years, you may have felt like an outlier, a misfit, someone who simply couldn't blend in. That loneliness wasn't rejection, it was reservation. You were being preserved until the right time, when the others carrying the same frequency would awaken too. And now, the time has come, one by one. The lights are turning on across the earth, souls shining like stars in the night, signaling to each other, you are not alone. It is not a coincidence when you encounter someone who understands your spirit without words. It's not random when you feel an instant recognition in another's presence. It is divine connection, proof that the same fire burns in you both. These connections are not built on preference but on purpose. The remnant recognizes each other by the light they carry, not by the labels they wear. There is power in this gathering. Even when it looks small, the world measures influence by numbers, but heaven measures it by purity. A handful of burning hearts can shift an entire generation. Remember, Gideon's army reduced to 300 so that glory could only belong to God. The remnant is never large, but it is always potent. When heaven breathes through the faithful few, nations tremble. You are part of something vast, though it may look invisible. The prayers you whisper are joined with thousands of others praying in different tongues and time zones, yet moved by the same Spirit. Each voice becomes a note in heaven's song. Together, you are harmonizing destiny's melody. The remnant is heaven's choir, unseen but unstoppable. And this gathering carries purpose. It's not a comfort club for the weary, it's a council of warriors being mobilized. Each person has an assignment, and together, those assignments create a divine network of light. One carries intercession, another revelation, another compassion, another courage. When combined, they form heaven's blueprint for transformation on earth. You are being drawn to your people not by accident, but by design. The spirit inside you is magnetized to the same spirit in them. These are the ones who will understand without explanation, who will pray with you without judgment, who will stand beside you when the battle intensifies. They are your allies in the unseen war. As this gathering unfolds, you will sense new strength. Where isolation once drained you, unity will now empower you. The prayers of the remnant create a covering, a shared fire that burns brighter together than apart. You will find yourself more confident in your calling because you will see it reflected in others. Do not mistake this unity for uniformity. The remnant is not made of clones, but of contrasts, each chosen one unique, yet in harmony. One song complements another's. One's strength supports another's weakness. Diversity is not division in heaven's design, it's depth. Every variation adds texture to the tapestry God is weaving through his people. You are witnessing a spiritual reunion, a convergence of souls who were once scattered, now being synchronized. Heaven is gathering its army quietly, away from the noise of spectacle, forming a network that cannot be broken because it is built by divine intention. Soon, you will look around and realize the faces beside you are not strangers, they are family. Their fire confirms your own. Their stories echo your scars. Together, you will carry the light into places darkness thought it owned. Together, you will fulfill assignments that one alone could never carry. The remnant is not coming, it is here, and you are part of it. Stand firm in your place within this divine mosaic. The gathering has begun, and the earth will soon feel the tremor of unity, born not from ambition, but from anointing. The lonely road you once walked has led you to this intersection of destiny. Welcome, chosen one, to the fellowship of the refined, the gathering of those who never quit when the fire came. You have found your people, and heaven smiles, because the remnant has risen. The sound is changing again. Chosen one. The air around you carries the hum of final preparation. It's not the trembling of fear, it's the vibration of destiny unfolding. The trumpet of heaven is being lifted. The final call before the door opens fully is being sounded. What you are feeling right now, the restlessness, the stirring, the deep inner knowing is the echo of heaven saying, "It is time." You've walked through silence, storms, and shaping. You've been refined and realigned. The gathering of the remnant has begun. And now the command comes clearly from the throne: step forward. Heaven has positioned everything in perfect alignment for your arrival at the threshold. This is not a rehearsal. This is the moment history has been waiting for you to enter. As the Apostle Paul wrote in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 14, "Awake, sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Those words are your summons. Heaven is not asking politely, it is calling powerfully. You are being awakened, not to exist, but to arise. It is easy to grow weary after the journey you've walked. You've poured out your strength, your tears, your time, but the harvest is near. The hardest labor always comes just before dawn. You are standing at the edge of the field, where promise meets fulfillment. What you sowed in private is about to bloom in public, and heaven is watching to see who will lift their hands, even trembling, and say, I am still here. I am still ready. There's an image heaven keeps pressing into your heart. It's that of a lighthouse standing against violent winds. The storms rage, the waves crash, but the light doesn't flicker. That is you. Even when you felt unnoticed, your steady glow guided others through their storms. Every prayer whispered, every act of faith, every moment you refused to quit has been light to someone else's darkness. Now, as the light grows, there's a new kind of calling to multiply it. If these messages have awakened your spirit, if they've brought clarity, comfort, or courage, then let your actions become part of their light. When you like, you fan the flame. When you share, you send a spark into someone else's night. When you subscribe, you stand as a keeper of the lighthouse, ensuring that the beacon never dims. And if your heart stirs to donate, understand this, it isn't about obligation, it's about oil. The same oil that kept lamps burning in ancient temples is what keeps this light alive now. Your giving, no matter how small, is sacred. It keeps the words flowing, the light shining, the message reaching hearts that would otherwise remain in darkness. You are not funding content, you are fueling calling. Imagine it like this: every gesture of support becomes a stone in a bridge across a river. Each share extends the bridge further, each contribution strengthens its foundation. Someone out there is standing on the other side, waiting for hope to reach them. Your small act might be the step that carries the message across the waters. And beyond the mechanics of it, think of what it means spiritually. When you engage, you are not responding to a person, you are responding to purpose. You're saying to heaven, yes, this word matters. Yes, I choose to keep this fire alive. Heaven sees that agreement. Angels record it. And somewhere, another heart is softened because you decided to pass the light forward. Now, take a moment. Breathe. Feel the weight of what you carry, the light, the oil, the faith. You've come too far to hide it under a basket. The final trumpet is not just sounding for awakening, it's calling for action. Let your life be a torch others can see from miles away. Let your voice become an echo of hope that cuts through despair. After you read this, do something simple yet powerful. Comment below. Let your words mark this moment. Speak faith into the feed. Write something that reflects your heart's agreement with heaven's call. When you comment, it's more than engagement, it's a record. A timestamp in eternity saying, I heard the call, and I answered. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs more light, and that's what you carry. So, lift your eyes from fatigue. The trumpet is still sounding. The horizon is brightening, and heaven is whispering. Keep shining. Support the light that has supported you. Share what has stirred your soul. Because what you keep glowing here becomes a signal of hope for someone who's about to give up. And together, our small flames become an ocean of fire. You are not done. You are being unleashed. The light inside you is not fading, it's multiplying. Keep it burning. Chosen one, keep it alive. Because through your faithfulness, heaven's message continues to find its way home. The moment you have long felt stirring in your spirit is finally here. It is quiet, not loud. Not dramatic, but sacred. Heaven rarely announces transformation with thunder. It often comes as a whisper. The door stands before you now, radiant and open, waiting for your step of faith. You have waited for this, prayed for this, and even doubted if it would ever come. But here it is, the threshold of destiny, glowing softly under the light of divine timing. Everything that came before has led to this single breath of decision. The silence shaped your patience. The storms taught you balance. The losses refined your discernment. You have been prepared more deeply than you realize. Now, all that remains is the crossing, the moment where you leave behind who you were to embrace who you are becoming. Crossing this threshold is not like walking through any other door. It is a spiritual act, a declaration that you trust God more than your fear. The step forward means release of the identities that were never truly yours, release of the voices that kept you small, release of the weight you no longer need to carry. The world you once knew may not understand this new version of you, but heaven does, because heaven designed it. The Apostle Paul once wrote in his letter to the Philippians, chapter 4, verse 13, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." This is the anthem of your crossing. You are not walking through by your own strength, but by divine empowerment. The same Spirit that raised Jesus from the dead now moves through your veins, steadying your step, lighting your path, guiding your heart. As you stand before this divine doorway, take a moment to notice how the air feels different, lighter, almost electric. You are standing between two worlds, the familiar past behind you and the unexplored promise before you. It is normal to feel both gratitude and grief, courage and trembling. Even faith can coexist with uncertainty. But you must remember, faith is not the absence of fear. It is movement in spite of it. Every chosen one who has ever crossed their divine threshold has known this feeling. Abraham, stepping out from everything familiar into a land he had never seen. Moses, facing the sea with only a staff and a word. Esther, walking into a throne room uninvited but appointed. You are part of their lineage now. This moment places you in that divine continuum of courage. When your foot touches the other side of this door, everything will shift. Not in a way the world can measure, but in the architecture of your soul, the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you respond, all will begin to align with a higher frequency. You will see opportunities where others see obstacles. You will hear instructions where others hear noise. The kingdom will begin to speak to you in sharper detail. This crossing also marks the end of striving. You have wrestled for too long with your own worthiness, questioning whether you deserve the promise. But the truth is, no one ever truly deserves destiny. It is always a gift. Your obedience is not the payment, it's the key. God's favor is not earned by perfection, but received through surrender. The door opens not because you have arrived, but because you have aligned. And once you step through, do not look back. The doorway of destiny is a one-way passage. the old patterns, the old fears, the old insecurities will call for you, but they no longer have authority. You are crossing into a realm where only faith functions. Doubt cannot survive here. The light ahead will be too bright for the shadows of the past to follow. You may not see every step of the path, but that's the point. You are not called to understand the way, only to walk it. Each step will illuminate the next, like lanterns igniting one by one under your feet. The journey ahead is not about speed, but about surrender. Take it slowly if you must, but take it surely. Chosen one, this is holy ground. Every tear, every ache, every unanswered prayer has led you to this very moment. The door that no one can shut now stands open before you. Heaven watches in silence, not out of distance, but out of reverence, for the next move belongs to you. So, breathe deeply. Feel the divine wind at your back. Step forward, not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to be. The crossing is complete when your courage becomes greater than your memory. You are through. You are changed. You are free. The door closes gently behind you. No noise, no flash of light, just stillness, sacred and full. You take a breath and realize that everything feels different. The air is clearer, the ground steadier, your heart lighter. You have crossed over. The journey that once stretched endlessly before you now feels like a completed chapter. Its lessons written deeply into your bones. You have entered the realm of fulfillment, not of ease, but of purpose. It takes a moment for your spirit to catch up with what has just happened. You spent so long preparing, waiting, hoping, fighting, that stepping into completion feels almost foreign. For years, you prayed for the door to open, not realizing that when it finally would, it would lead you into responsibility, not rest. The blessing is not a reward for surviving, it is an assignment for serving. You are different now. There is a quiet authority in you, a calm that cannot be shaken by noise or opinion. You have walked through enough fire to know that temporary pain cannot compare to eternal purpose. The things that used to unsettle you no longer hold power, because peace has become your native language. You are standing in a space where faith is not something you practice, it is something you breathe. The prophet Isaiah once declared, in chapter 40, verse 5, "The glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together, for the mouth of the Lord has spoken." You are walking in that revelation. The glory that once felt distant now radiates from within you. It is not about crowns or thrones. It is about carrying light in places that have forgotten the sunrise. You have become the evidence of God's faithfulness. Look around you. Everything that once broke you now bows to you. The chaos that once chased you now serves your calling. The darkness that tried to silence you now becomes the backdrop that makes your light shine brighter. You are not here to boast of your strength, but to display His glory. What once caused you to weep now causes you to worship. It is here, in this space beyond the door, that the pieces begin to make sense. Every delay, every loss, every season of silence now fits into a pattern so perfect that only heaven could have woven it. You realize that the pain wasn't random, it was placement. The waiting wasn't punishment, it was preparation. The tears weren't wasted, they were seeds. Everything has been redeemed. You will notice that people will begin to look at you differently. Some will be drawn to your peace without understanding why. Others will question your confidence. unaware that it is not arrogance but anointing. Let them see what they will. Your responsibility is not to explain the transformation, but to embody it. The fruit will speak for itself. The days ahead will not be without challenge, but you will meet every challenge with wisdom shaped by experience. You will lead without forcing, influence without manipulating, and love without losing yourself. Your authority will be quiet, but it will carry weight because it was born in surrender. Heaven's trust is upon you now, and trust is heavier than glory, but you can bear it because you have been built for it. There will be moments when you look back and almost fail to recognize the person you once were, the one who doubted, feared, and questioned every step. But do not despise that version of yourself. Honor them. They carried the faith that brought you here. Without their perseverance, you would not have reached this place. This new season will feel both familiar and foreign. You will walk in old places with new eyes. You will speak words that once trembled in your throat, now steady and sure. You will see divine fingerprints in every detail of your life. The door behind you was not the end, it was the unveiling. Heaven didn't just open opportunity, heaven revealed identity. Now you understand being chosen was never about elevation, it was about revelation. It was about carrying divine light into dark spaces, about being a living testimony of grace. You were never meant to escape the world, you were meant to illuminate it. And so you stand there, breathing deeply, feeling the warmth of purpose settle into your soul. You are not running anymore. You are not striving. You are simply being fully aligned, fully alive, fully chosen. This is what it means to step through the door no one can shut. It was never just about destiny. It was about becoming the doorway yourself, a vessel through which others might glimpse eternity. You are not waiting for glory to appear. You are the glory revealed. Chosen one. You have walked through every stage of this divine journey, through silence, through fire, through awakening, and finally through the open door. Now you stand on the other side, radiant with the evidence of God's faithfulness. You are not who you were when you began. You carry peace where there used to be pain, wisdom where there used to be confusion, and confidence where there once was fear. Heaven looks upon you now and smiles. You answered the call. But remember, this journey is not meant to end with you. The light you now carry is meant to travel, to ignite other hearts still lost in their waiting. If these words have stirred your soul, let that stirring become motion. Like this message, not for vanity, but as an amen, an echo that says, I receive this truth. When you share, you become a messenger, spreading the flame to souls who may need exactly what you found here. And if your spirit found strength in these moments, subscribe and stay connected. This space is more than a channel, it is a sanctuary for chosen ones across the world. Every connection here builds a network of light that keeps growing, one soul at a time. Finally, I invite you to comment below, not with empty words, but with gratitude. Write what this journey has meant to you, or simply whisper your thank you to heaven through your fingertips. Each comment becomes a stone in the altar of remembrance. We are building together a testimony that God still speaks, still moves, still opens doors no one can shut. Keep shining, keep standing, keep walking through every door heaven places before you. Your story isn't over, it's only just beginning.